If you are thinking of a bank that takes care of customers' needs by providing quality services with flexibility, reliability, and innovation, think Trust Bank Limited. With Trust Bank Limited mobile banking, you enjoy services such as balance inquiry, mini statement, funds transfer between accounts, exchange rates, mobile airtime top-up, stop ATM card, checkbook request, and PIN change. Our real-time gross settlement allows the customer to instruct the bank to transfer funds from their account to another account at another bank. Our expertise and experience in international banking is both legendary and the envy of the market. Retail banking, one bank, different amazing packages. Whether you are interested in savings account, current account, time or fixed deposit account, lending or overdraft, our team of dedicated staff is always ready and willing to help you out with your transactions as you wish. Corporate banking. Trust Bank Limited offer the most convenient services for deposit accounts, credit facilities, trade finance, bond and guarantee, and foreign currency account. With e-banking, you can make electronic bill payments and online banking and enjoy 24-hour access to your cash with our ATM. With the largest network of branches and agents, we give you the convenience to receive funds as you please. Trust Bank Limited, proudly Gambian.
fay lempo warugal la ci képp koo xam ne doomi réew mi nga ak ñu fi dëkk bu fekkee ne ci at mi sa koom-koom weesu na $2,400 dalasi mbete weer bu nekk di nga am lu tollu ci $2,000 dalasi lempo si la nguur gi di sukkandeku ngir liggéey yokkute réew mi GRA mooy banxaas bu nguuri Gambia sas ngir mu fayeku lépp luy lempo ci biir réew mi ba tax na GRA di yëgal faykati lempo yi ne warugal la pour ñu fay lu ñu naan withholding tax on contract payment maanaam bépp contract bu waay joxe te ci biir réew mi lañu toog kon xaalis ci contract bi ngeen nangotoo war nga cee wàññi ci xayma téeméer bu nekk fukka bu fekkee ne contracto bi dëkkut ci biir réew mi bu boobaa di nga war a wàññi téeméer bu nekk fukka ak juróom lii mooy lempo bu ñu naan withholding tax on contract payment lii mooy lempo bi nga xam ne yow mi joxe contract warugal la nga wëlbatiku dem fay ko ci maakaani GRA tax office bu la gën a jege mbete ci banque yi GRA jagleel pour fay lempo war ngaa jébal lempo bi si diiri fukki fan ak juróom gannaaw bi nga wàññee ci xaalis si contract bi amul benn contracto bu ñu teggil fay lempo bi xanaa mu fekk ne nguuri Gambia ñoo ko jégale boole si projet yi nga xam ne mbootaay ndimbali ñoo koy dépense GRA di fayeku lempo ngir yokk.
For the first time in the history of the Gambia, Gambia Printing Publishing Corporation proudly introduces the Bibliomatic Exercise Book Printing Machine. The machine has the capacity to print more than 20,000 books per hour. Yes, 20,000 books per hour. It also prints magazines, newspapers, calendars, flyers, normal books, and all kinds of printed documents plus items at affordable prices. With the Bibliomatic Printing Machine, GPPC can now render high-quality and non-size restricted printing service supply across the sub-region. Rush now and partner with GPPC for all your public and private printing service needs. Print with us today and you'd be offered highly professional, reliable and efficient service delivery by our team of experts. The Gambia Printing and Publishing Corporation is here to meet all demands and is reliable at all times. For more info, contact us on 437-4493 or 437-4402. GPPC is Gambian and it's yours.
In communication, connectivity is everything. We ensure that the links never sleep. Quantities and qualities, all in our data service, providing efficient reliable voice, and data service. We believe if you're not up to speed, then you're going backwards. Communications have to flow as fast as the speed of light. Whatever business you're in, having someone who understands your needs is critical. That is why we just don't offer you technology, we offer you solutions. Enjoy Gamcel's internet broadband anytime, anywhere. Your national operator, Gamcel, Yaibaro.
This season of Kerr Fatou. Fatou. Oli.
Hello and welcome to another edition of Kerr Fatou. Badingol ngal bismillah Kerr Fatou program oton kaminke jang ramisa. Today I'm going to the local languages. Because someone called me and said, "You guys, who are you speaking to? Are you speaking to the Queen? You're supposed to be talking to our people." And I think it's important. And I felt so bad. The other day also I was watching the brunch. I heard Pa Modumbo telling Lamin Cham, I want to say this in the local language because the people that we want to hear these messages there in the local, I think it's important. Welcome back to the show.
Yeah, thank you very much. And like you said, it's important that sometimes we speak in our local language because at the end of the day, we are communicating with diverse people.
Yeah.
Some who cannot understand the English language. So sometimes it's better we speak in our local languages to also reach out to the wider audience. That's also very important. And I hope the discussion today will also take that round.
And it starts with my grandma. Every time I come, I told her, "Alka diamu tu babole, alka diamu tol gambe non tol minga karte fa imbukala diamu kaume." So I think that's important. Yeah. It's important. Being a program to come nga Kenya mindrong esa be a series of party soul host because December party soul are going to Congress, and this is a time they go elect leadership that will steer the affairs of the party. And last week we had APRC. Today we jumped, right? We are going to you. We jumped. We were supposed to have NPP and GDC, but NPP, the minister is traveling, so he's not able to make it this week. So today we have Honorable Alhagie S. Darboe. Alhagie is the Administrative Secretary of UDP, also the NAM for Brikama North. So it'll be interesting to have him. And this is the first time actually I'm having him on my show. Alhagie, welcome to Kerr Fatou.
Thank you very much.
B program I want us to look at first, just briefly, what is trending. What is trending is that last night, there was news around, I got to see a text from somebody directing me to a tweet that was showing that the Central Bank of the Gambia was hacked by some hackers. And then this was alarming. I mean, Al-Kambar also reported it, but they had not got in details. I think that was the time we started talking to our sources on the ground at the Central Bank. And we were able to confirm that, yes, it indeed happened since Sunday. And we were just getting to know about it yesterday, Wednesday, on social media. Did you hear about that? And how serious do you think that is?
Well, I saw this story, like your status always.
Yeah, that's newsroom. It's newsroom for a lot of people.
Newsroom, yeah. So yeah. I saw this story there.
Yeah.
And then what first came to my mind was how secured are we?
Yeah.
From these hackers. It's an era of cyber security / insecurity. A lot of people under threat, but then also, since it happened on Sunday, now we're talking about Thursday. It also shows one thing: how well does the government communicate with the people? Probably if media houses like Kerr Fatou did not expose this, probably nobody will hear about this. That's one thing. But also, since we have a new ministry for digital economy, I think these are areas or things that we need to really work on to ensure that there is safety and security when it comes to government institutions, especially delicate and very sensitive institutions like Central Bank of the Gambia, to make sure that we are protected from hackers all around the world, because like I said, this is something that is that's a phenomenon now. You know, a lot of people are not safe, even at individual level. Countries are not also safe. This is how. This shows also how weak a country's security system can be in terms of how, you know, criminal organizations or gangs can, you know, hack into systems and do their dirty job. So it's really alarming and it's serious. And I hope that the government will look into this with all seriousness and urgency and try to see how they can address it.
Just before we came to, just before we got this program started, I got a press release from the government, indeed confirming that the hacking did happen at the central bank, but everything is under control. So it just happened. So I don't know whether it was because of the news reports, that's why it came out. Because last night I spoke to the government spokesperson, he told me he didn't know about it. I spoke to the head of information at the central bank. He said he didn't know about it. He'll get back to us today. I called the finance minister. I could not get hold of him. I called the government spokesperson. He didn't know. I called the central bank governor. Was not accessible. Something like this, when it happens, the National Assembly, were you briefed, Honorable?
Before you get to that, I mean, I think if the Minister of Information is saying that...
No, not the Minister of Information, the government spokesperson, when I spoke to...
The government spokesperson. If the government spokesperson is telling you that he knows nothing about it and this thing happened since Sunday, then it's two things. Either one, you know, the government is not up to date about events that are happening or issues that are happening in the country, or maybe it happened just because he did not want to talk about it.
I think he didn't want to tell me. That's what I feel.
And that's serious. That shows that we have a government that is not really open and, you know, to accountability. That does not encourage transparency and accountability. And like I always say, most of the times in the Gambia, we have a government that is reactionary. They react to situations. They are not proactive. But also when these things happen, it's only when there is public outcry, when there is public pressure, that is the time when they will come and respond. So it shows that we really need to put our house in order as a country. In this 21st century, in this era of, like I said, cybersecurity / insecurity, countries or governments really need to put their houses in order to ensure that they are protected from these criminal gangs that operate around the world.
Yeah, I think it's important because I felt like when I spoke to the government spokesman, I had a feeling maybe he knows, but he didn't want to tell me because, you know, when it comes to financial issues, when it comes to issues like the bank, especially the Central Bank of the Gambia, these are very sensitive issues. Governments treat them differently. Even when we got the story, I wanted to make sure I spoke to somebody, an insider, so that I have a knowledge of what really happened, because it was important to bring that out so that the story doesn't come out as looking as making the public panic, right? But I felt like it should have been the government's role to come out quickly before it comes out just like that. Because the tweet I saw, it was from a random person putting out some government documents. I saw these documents, and it was based on those documents that I started making those calls. So I think sometimes it's good that government comes out quickly and show people that everything was in control, rather wait until the press put it out. These are very sensitive issues. Honorable, were you briefed about the National Assembly? Was there any time that the National Assembly was briefed about this hacking that took place at the central bank?
Not at all.
Wow.
I think this only comes to my knowledge in this very studio that incident of this nature happened.
Wow.
All these days we are busy with the budget, we were on a retreat, and today we are on the bilaterals.
Yeah.
The government can only brief the National Assembly when the matter is raised at the National Assembly, either at the level of the committee or at the plenary. Actually, it has not been brought to our attention yet.
Wow. That's serious. That's serious. Now, going to National Assembly, I know you guys are busy right now. I don't want to go into details, but I know the finance minister has tabled the budget, and you guys have had a preliminary, at least an overview of what is there. A layperson like me, last year was, I think, 26 point something, and today we're hearing about 30 billion.
35 or 30?
31.
31 billion, 31 billion, 30.9 billion, right? Looking at it without even going into details, is that something that is realistic, considering what we can afford as a country?
Yeah, affordability will depend on the sources of income. I think that's where one can talk about the affordability, because we have the income on domestic and then others on the donor support. Usually, just like last year, we had a problem with the donor support. That was why one of the reasons why the budget was revised was as a result of the donor supports were not forthcoming. That compelled the government to do the revision. And if we still tend to rely on donor support, and then if such situation should happen again, scenario of having another revised budget may arise.
Me and so many other people always complain when we see budget support coming, let's say not budget support, when we see supplementary budgets come to the National Assembly, and a lot of us, even us the layman, will say, this is not realistic. But at the end of the day, it's approved anyway, right? Even though sometimes there are some adjustments. Why always that kind of situation? Why do we always have to come back to the Assembly? Because I know you said, budget supports, if they are not forthcoming, they can come back, right? Apart from whether when COVID happened or other instances like COVID-related issues, why the need for the Ministry of Finance to come back and say, we need money to run to run government?
Yeah, I think it is constitutional that any time government feels that it needs a certain expenditure which is not reflective in the budget, it can be brought to the National Assembly as a way of revised budget or supplementary budget. These are the things that we want to spend, but it is not already in the budget. And government cannot go ahead and do the spending without bringing that to the National Assembly. If at all that expense is genuine, is in the interest of the public, yes, the National Assembly can look into it. Perhaps what we normally do is look at the figure, whether it is high or low, or reduce it or add it. But it is in line. Government can bring supplementary budget or revise the budget when the need arise.
So far, have you seen any budget that you are concerned about? Or have you guys started looking at individual departments like agriculture, health?
That's what we are doing right now. All the committees are engaged in the line ministries. They are reviewing the budgets department by department and then budget line by budget line. Where necessary, the committees will do their necessary cuttings. And then after, they will send in their report to the FPA, that is the Finance and Public Account Committee, for compilation. And then the report will be presented or laid before the plenary. Then it will be debated. And then at the level of the Committee of All House, that's where we'll be recommending. We'll use the report to recommend where we need to cut based on what has been reported by the various committees after their engagement with the line ministries. Currently, that is what is going on.
Have you seen anything that is a little alarming on numbers? Any department?
Well, until when we receive the reports from the respective committees.
Okay.
Yes.
Now we go to UDP. Saying at our UDP. So, Honorable, we wanted to look at the parties, UDP, election of Botaje, Tata local government elections. A lot of us didn't expect you guys to come that way, and you surprised a lot of people, considering after the norm is Jama me win the presidency, they sweep the polls at the National Assembly. That didn't happen in this instance. Now, Patiokata Congress in December. Tell us, Albert Tembe Dajumalto Nyin Tembe, Bayring Ajiko, regional congresses all over. How did that go? Atata Nyadin.
Yeah, before regional congress, Congress will start from the ward level.
Ward levels.
Congress will kill in October, and in constituency Congress also in October. Then constituency la wards la Congress in oversee. Then from there, constituency from the Congress of Anankeda regional level nata to oversee the congresses of the constituencies. And so for la congress nyol kela for very few men yalongo ya incidents nyol soto nata a difa wal killing wal leba a finalize la. Then nata na bo constituency congress or data regional congress also. The 8 local government areas nyol be yalontol ngantol madang only the 7 regions.
Yeah.
Nga CRR divided into two. North and South.
Okay.
So we have administrative areas reality. Then will find be la Congress or national executive members or tata to be officiating or Congress or be the last weekend mentamita ngangol Congress or be kele. Alhamdulillah be kera kaira kono be banta kaira kono. Be la different executive sol tombo. Amandang only the main committee la. The last structure is made in such a way that the main executive sort from national up to ward level or up to village. After the main executive, women's wing executive sort, youth wing executive sort, and then female youth wing executive. In 4 executives will be elected at the regional congress. One thing made this Congress unique, the youth age bracket, last Congress, National Congress, keda resolution thing, whereby the youth age ninka observe in the party. Ninko youth it should not be elderly, 35 years. Anyone above 35 years, you will not be considered a youth, or you will not be in the youth executive of UDP. So resolution passed. Last Congress, this Congress, regional and then national, implement kang. Natanga it was difficult though. Model they feel they still should have the time. It all political actors so ningi it all bondi auto. A problem also. But natana law follow resolution. And then nara usual sort of minanko they are within the age bracket. So walelu nara tombo. To be in the respective youth wings also. The main youth wing and then the female youth wing. So in Safo Kodal nga progress ba sort of funding la Carola. Ka fiamen sort of din nolte da dunna jebo right now regional beto nga din nol sort of in the youth wing.
Yeah. Yes, sir.
Yeah, interesting. Of course, one of the longest surviving political parties in the country right now, the United Democratic Party, one of the oldest parties, and of course the biggest opposition parties at the moment, created in all the...
Is it the biggest opposition? Okay.
Not the biggest party.
Not the biggest
party right now is MPP.
Is MPP, you agree with that?
Well, going by statistics, going by the
election results.
Going by the parliamentary election results.
Okay,
the MPP is the biggest.
Yeah.
But the UDP is the second biggest political party, and of course the biggest opposition party in the country.
Yeah.
And it's interesting to see how the party has gone up to this stage. Holding Congress. And I always say, if there are parties in this country that always abide by the Electoral Act, it's UDP, and of course some parties like APRC and others, especially when it comes to holding Congress. And it's important. And one thing I also like about the resolution that he mentioned, I think that is very progressive as far as promoting youth participation in politics is concerned, going by the National Youth Policy and of course the African Youth Charter, from 15 to 35, having that age bracket of young people, because this is a problem in the Gambia here. A lot of the time we have people that claim to be young people, they claim to be youth when they are over 35 years. You'll see a 40-year-old man saying that we the young people, we the youth, and this is so discouraging for a lot of young people that really want to come into politics. And I think that's a very progressive step on the side of the party. And at some point also the ward congress that he mentioned, I was aware that they were having ward congresses and regional constituency congresses. I was aware of one congress that took place in my own ward, that is Talindin South. I think it's South. Yeah, it should be South. Talindin South, the ward congress happened there, and other wards as well within the KM. I'm aware of those things, but like you said, some wards, are yet to have their congresses because of, few hitches here and there. And we don't know what these hitches are. whether they are internal, that he wouldn't want to talk about them, because sometimes these congresses can also create a lot of problems when people show interest, different people show interest to run for different offices or positions. Sometimes that create that commotion. And it also reflects at the level of the constituency. Sometimes it goes to the regional and even at the national Congress. Sometimes that happens. But what we have seen mostly is that, you know, a lot of the times, sometimes these congresses can be formality's sake. The leadership is there. You know, everyone knows, well, this will continue, and nobody is even coming on board to challenge them. And I think that is really needed. Last week I mentioned here that a lot of political parties, including the UDP, should really encourage, new ones. When we say new ones, we're not necessarily talking about young people only. It could be elderly, there could be 50, there could be 60, there could be 70. But sometimes to kind of give opportunity, people can have, you know, more progressive ideas, you know, that could also help build the party. And I think that is really very good for the party right now. But one thing that I want to ascertain is whether this Congress will be an elective Congress, whether this is an elective Congress that the UDP is having or not. Is it an elective?
Yeah, as to respond in the
Congress. Just asking whether it's an elective Congress.
Local,
okay. I think I forgot the completely. I'm consumed.
Completely already. English focus.
I'm consumed by this colonial language. Anyway, but what I'm trying to you know, Willem Doronko, UDP mu party balati Gambia, one of the biggest parties in the country, the second biggest political party. Matelen party fulanjot me wata Gambia be kono near party ñu fanan jibe in ametale kabin 1996 ngafonu jël last week political party in the Gambia near party jibe mel yalon ko eka IC la lual bunya bake UDP bollo kono EPRC fanan bollo kono doywol bollo kono especially in the Congress la Carola. This is something that me alon ko can respect bakele. And like I was, you know, calling on the IEC the other time, I think 3 weeks ago, for them to ensure that they implement the Electoral Act, because political party dul bejana me yalon ko man electoral law nyum bunya ruling party the NPP bolle kono mi man congress ke bra sanyi sabanyo kana di wol ko ni December ina man congress ke IEC nya balale man fem foje mol diam
ba ko congress la
ankana le men yam foteje because lu wara tinyata fa banda
tinyata to nyalo
akanta doron ko me ka fo nyeba banko men diata me doron wala ni men semen domo wala be ke andung to nintu ko mufta into the democracy nyanda ka tammi wala le sign luwa nyanda bunyala anu men nata bala fa wara ngolen IC fomo finti tale ko patin ben banko kan me yalon ko mantra luwa bunyaka electoral law nyum bunyaka so wayta ndi le ko as the custodian of the law, you are telling us that mol beje mel be luwa tinyakang and you mantre bulo la ka wolkang akam da doron ko me kayta ndala ko emela do ko no emela do ko dafa nyanta men kele ma long wala yebande kake o bala fa wata bake but coming after nyame UDP is one party that has been respecting the Electoral Act together with other political parties, a few of them we know, and they've not been found one thing in terms of abiding by the Electoral Act. But kukilim beje mel ka kumata bake wolem ko last thing afunu jang ko party nyanta trailer fanang probably change of leadership jibe ngajo ko politician dol beje mi bata nyum patil konole it's not that come mang idea soto or whatever and nin ko silo di dol fanana manke ko mafo ko come dia di dinol damal hani mantro foka ngam for it could be asake no kebal fontile men be la 60s kono wala be la 70s kono wala be la 50s kono a dependale but change of leadership sometimes afananka aka party makole wala organizational makole to take a new sense of direction and you know the current leadership can even play a role in that. I challenge Duru Jahia whether EPRC for it fanang bole soto la bang ngajelo ko maybe doy fanang for bole soto la bang so UDP fanang mod be jibe kana fo fanang bo soto la bang but kukil la honorable nyinin kala men wala foni mu elective congress la elective congress wala tombon bengolem bang bengole because congress ka soto sifa fulaleng eka elective congress soto men ko tombondiro ka ke ka fa ka mol ka tombon bari ka congress dol fanang soto me alon ko amanke elective
comme APRC based on their constitution it all down elective
exactly so left alone na honorable alkana nyum congress men ke December cause mo jamale ba jibe kan UDP be set direction mental this time around for elective congress lembam fama ke elective congress
namira men ye UDP fa hamba ke ndola congress ol be sanjefla congress o e be mo elective congress let kako village water for national nga congress men ke abimu elective congress let hari
Honorable, Allah Congress is all for the past couple of years not all attended, especially at Paradise, and even at regional levels. Allah commotion of Kawarabake. You know, more minka interest to katara executive or konakasia for do be fonga ka problem or nati. Munati na ya mera woka soto. I remember the last time Allah Brikama won, that was really crazy for police or nati from the other part near. And I remember also Paradise Suites Hotel at the last Congress, there were a lot of negotiations up to last minute. Mune sabu wonyu sabo soto. I mean, I know it's election, but why do you think that kind of interest in when it comes to leadership?
Yeah, kome saka funya mena maybe wala ka observe as if ka foko Congress manke elective Congress. Ku jama ka ke jani Congress be kela. Mo jama kela la fo yitandi palasola ñu sabo ka ke palasola. Bar kacal ka ke bakele pour ka je be palasol bulala joye nyamen wala kenna ngani nyinde membe siring ay right soto ala la fo itandi memandra siring ay right soto ay la fo itandi janin congress be sila ngawo internal discourse no lu kele aka kolya ba ka duba kele pour ka ñoo sendino last one yemen kalamuda Ndara for Congress for the very day of the elections. Watolondul nata decline.
Yeah.
Whatever you kacha kolembal de kakeje. Ni moment kenu tenu carte be file place lu
bel. No problem also la back. I have a big problem with that. Why the negotiation? People want to contest for positions. They want to seek leadership positions within the party. The negotiations melkakeje for me. And then it's not only the UDP, it happens in a lot of other political parties. For me, the negotiations coming for the formality's sake, like some of these congresses in Inata. And negotiation is also a threat to internal democracy. Democracy within the parties. Democracy in the Katama party konore. And negotiation of Kakawalen Kakacha, Karite Abula Kari, Akamta Kameng encourage the leadership will continue most of the time. Ko kala file most of the kana from leadership ni challenge bari be mira ni na rafanang ba fle nyeno ko e abula e yalum be mu kilingol ti tenin teng ando nyimbe ka party dama kono. Sometimes this happens even at, let's say, local government levels. Local government level fonda.
Even national level.
Even national level. So sometimes men ka ko mo la fika contest ka rifaola. Do ka ko yedo fanga ha kana lo ite abula yala be mo kilingol ti ya bali ya kaja nyindo lo dipita nyindo taraje ka support will see. Sometimes I can make encourage one ko inefficiency I can encourage because most of the time sometimes more kala fi menna and men ka present can be different and niaji be political party jamal beje do be your problem also this past national assembly election. I think the ruling party incumbent had that problem. Ye more less samana media lonko people those are the choice of the people more malafila. But just because they wanted to impose them on them, and they just have to accept them. But sometimes, fanang, akamola chance the limit between the choices. Okay, there is one scholar on elections in authoritarian regimes. Al observation of menti wolem ko elections in authoritarian regimes, amanke ko molbeka choice soto. Ikajel ko candidate fulay soto wala sabay soto wala nani soto. But incumbent ka advantage men soto, akani ndol be la chance limit le. Resources be available, the media available, everything in the country available. Ye mo jeme alon ko aka struggle le programme ni bodo fonsoro. Ye na imani bodo sabadi wala. Ye wil tandiala, ye tul bodo tul bidomo diala, ye jabo bodo diala. Akamta wo mani indirectly ba force kan le pura akata oditela because atadi no la odola. Do you understand? So the chances are limited because the advantage of incumbency. So there are political party fanon kono election men kakiji at some point akanyin don put at a very disadvantaged position. Because men kaka wala mko the incumbent had the advantage already. Okay? Ni futa dorong ite fon kata mira kata well lafta nim place wala le. Bari ngalo ni tara no manta sotola. Because men mira kala wala mko mira fala ko sabula je Alhagie muna ke bande Alhagie karandi la kata nyonya kana so nyo sabo yu na tema. So ngado ko democracy ni working party ni kono le. At some point men nyanda kala wala mko the reforms be ndia mira ko party kono. Ni leadership member je me an ko tunya
mo ya ko ajarta la pour ñe continuer mo laftira be ka rew di le bi ni tara UDP kono for instance ni ko di leadership party secretary general party leader and secretary general let them open it amanya negotiation la mo mo lafta apply to challenge honorable Darboe you challenge him at the end of the day the party members will decide jumale be lead la jumale te lead la ni atara ko ite me apply te jarre ala be kala jere ni man jarala ibe bon ibe Darboe maintain as the leader of the party the same thing applies to all other elective positions within the party so no problem with ngado is not only UDP it happens in a lot of political parties so negotiation ni men kake I think that is something me alon ko na be kala fon I will suggest or expect that maybe afako well, men have a contest, but not to engage these people, Abulani, Kari Tengten, and all that not. I think because most in our left position, but at some point I feel, let me just leave it. So maybe in position ko be Fenkala, Adalia community probably Seattle, moment wrong in position and that's a unity affect no within the party. You can ask them at their own level. Maybe I'll caucus create. You go and then discuss. Maybe in Batranga more limit nyadi maybe contest for this position because we are also conscious about the unity within the party. Malafi party of fragmentation or sort of. But I think discouraging people from contesting positions, I think really will be internal democracy affect. And your party's name is the United Democratic Party. I think you should follow the fundamental values.
Ninga kumofo. Nyanda patal mental. Kila moy bakentol abani to ko mel la moy bakela tolla
to nyam
ko de la janna na fate
ayala demo analyse dia ma la journalist ni
no nga understand basta ni to ko babi analyze la membe yalo mo mo la so kono etele yalo so be nyamen ani so nyanta mala nyamenda maralo pray keno yulwa e soto mobe kala fi wala of course katamen kake ni ko congress manje ko parti dimo be kata congress nenu kanaje mo tafol delegate so tafol ya limit ko wol damba le mu parti dimolti wol fanamu demand dimolati parti kono pour ka disono jinta ni nata menu ka kacha fananke wol fanamu do man dimol mo be kala la fo itandile bari kacha lalu manche ko mi ko mo danta wala mo kilmo sondila every region mol kana je regional mo mo la concernment hin wala kana ko mi ka fu nyamen parti la Cairo la wala 28 ne kamen fon o men keta o Brikama Congress ato na parti la alhalo be nyamen wala tina keta wonyama so biwo keta we learn from that utabe kumal sira intaren ka kachaki because malafi o sifa aka ke party ko nya keta asi party nying asa split nole foisu o kusi falu fosul fana incorrect mo fritale ile la foitandi ni la ita man song insista ko praso ni ba anyin lalle ite bi dola you at liberty is lono la de congress mbika mo bal wala bar koni internal kacha pour ko ke men sifa kere non 28 wa sifal wayen karandile kon nim man hakilto sifal la asi pateni lanjurle alfal be pati kono walla koku ninga nata men sikeno treti asi kambe nyin asa lanjurlo wal fana do ko walti kadiamu kaje ko Cairo ni nyo fahamu ay tarapati nyin to nyin kacha aka wuli wala kamba bari nga ko me ya observe nya men abika ka kuti men ka sonya abika na do nga foko esate lola
I remember
esa
Paradise last election last Paradise election Darboe himself had to intervene I remember that Rohilo and somebody else
nyaton ko men sur 2020 most of them new faces new lelti especially presidency yajibe bring dembo by force nyin botaje atalamu president nyenti
national president
so je postuno nyi vacanta jimal nyata keje odu tabakle
I remember that
then second vice ofanan duta and then first vice rather than second vice, the same thing. Okay? O kacha kana nyine kamba ko internally pour kambe woni to nya bela la place wala mbesa nyino banga hakul wala men si parti fanana disunity nyin asa samba nyato nga boru wala
but yeah
ha so an kan kana wala kan anu ngamira anywhere democracy be dawoda molu lafta menna e kawla tamba te lafital de bar molu lafta menna e be to monnal ni ngaje ntata congress doto for example CRR South kacha opuntale bari candidate be am da koy manson ko ta bulala dirga la bulo man keno mi de carte wala fayta bar room creator pour kacha yake that's the first option na room create kacha yake nin kacha nyin kira exhauster result nyaata nyamena wala mu ka fako ya bla nyoy fine ni koy mabla nyoy den di last ngana balot ñu yello carte ñi fay national fanan di sen spirit le ka keje kacha ka kele ni ya ñoo faham lamu pa ni ma ñoo faham o democratic principle ñi carte ñi fay par ka fo kacha moto bonno democracy kono de
no I agree with you that if in fact in politics Nico politics what is politics we also look at because politics near GB we're looking at the arena where politics takes place but also the process the arena academic politics as an art of government but also politics as power for instance but when we also look at politics as a process as politics as an art of government, but also politics as public affairs. But politics as a process, politics as power, but also politics as consensus and compromise. And that's normal in a democracy. So, because democracy is about disagreeing to agree. We disagree, but I don't know if we have to agree, which is totally fine. But the honorable nyaka manu nyalale. Be ninto kombe UDP la leadership position of Fenkala, Secretary General. Honorable dal nga bunya bakele na keba kende bale ay karandile na jarta ku jamal anada ko nye hey esa tenku hanni lafta tala sako honorable na diam dañe killing fula saba nani abem pus kandoron hanni lafta tala mber withdraw la mbajele ko nyin dala man jarala because mola me alon ko nga bunya bakele so ndela point mi menti wo pus fonka fako okay sign cinnamon so la albe balanda ngal bulale tan ngamira mayna ka futa wolto na point mi menti wolam ko it's not bad to create room for discussion. Nimol na reko lafta contest la different position. Mo jama lo to ko be contest la. Asafo ko well you are all bona fide sons and daughters of this party. Albe mo party dingoleti. Andung Allah right lem puruka lo nyim position la. Bari nga menje wolem ko akamta mo nyinindar la siata. Because sometimes democracy famoto ni nyinindir la siya bata aka the mandate the majority mandate affect le. I give you a typical example. Wala tina country dol beje ka foko kata absolute majority la instead of simple majority in election. In the sense that let's say 10 candidates soto. Or 10 candidates kono mel lota, you have one candidate melanka 20% of the vote soto. You understand? The remaining 80%, 9 candidates will mel tota wala share. Ibina jela ko 20% melanko simple majority no wala beje me 20% soto, atel be kala winati. Andi batata ko 80% of the voters will be mal la fala. But hanisa atel nata win. So wala na needs absolute majority be daming ni futata simple majority a first round ke moment 50+1 soto e ka fal ngata second round ni kata second round na nyimmel yalon ko mantara 4 second kono ko bondi jele the first two e ka wala muta ye samana ko ka to le contest now pourka fenko nyin talandi wayatan di lako even in a democracy the more candidates that you have sometimes can affect the credibility of the mandate of the people the majority aka affect le. So what is normal nali ajo ko maybe more nyinindiri la siata nyim position la andum as a disunity samana within the party because niam mo fula mo saba soto member place o nyine kan ngamira wole comme wala mantoro le be fanang be limite la compared to ye mo tandi lul be soto be place kilo nyine kan mana fo en faham yeah. So wasi fang nsa je ko okay nang atanon kale mo jemi alon ko mo nyine na siata ala fa ko well there is room for discussion. We probably will want lesser people to apply for this position because we also want to promote democracy, internal democracy. But
you cannot tell people lesser people to...
No. What I'm saying is, another nunko, I'll say kacha annual damal temale. Do you understand? In as much as we want to promote the tenets of democracy, but we are also very cautious of the unity of the party. We are very much interested in that. And we don't want the party to disunite just because we are promoting the principles of democracy. We'll say something, but fengo ka soto me alon ko parti nyun kono mol la fallola influential people within the party fon ka mol commandi malam faka ko nyama in your party, but I'm just giving an example. Honorable Darboe do commandi, Honorable Madi Sise do commandi, Honorable Darboe fonga do commandi, Amadou Sane fonga do commandi. These are influential people within the party. Ebe diamune kana nyinke, sinya kili yafoy, hani wo insista, sinya fula yafoy, sinya saba yafoy. Wato do ka jelo ko abulanga abula je dorong nyimman jarala bari nyimbu nya mo balati and woka democracy nying affect at some point ka fo la ko formality nyul dol ka ke walti. So mol kana parti ni walati ne ka je leadership kilon ka tara continue kan. For because mol bika hani pour ka contest because ni contesta one e be discourage la le or hani continue ta fango mol ta carte o dile. But what is the beauty about it is that go and contest. Show your interest that you want to contest for the leadership of this party or this position and let the party allow you to contest. At the end of the day, the will of the people will prevail.
I think Esa
but ka jele tandi along Esa ka memfo maybe nka vo itandi ko imantra suwanyin kono wala tna maybe ka jewo nyama bar ni be so kono ne ajabe kela ikawo disunity ka memfo wala mo sun ko la consent no democracy la mo ka democracy kacha abakata no kacha ko ma ning la ite la fita do la fita kacha si okunal tema al kacha is normal al si kacha no so you are at liberty for your song for your sonna nka jentel ka ko wala nyam bika mo forcer bika mo ka foko by force ina nyanda kala anna bika ko mbo al falle ka interfere woto usually grassroots aka kena wollelto wol kacal kana wollelto comme every region ka interest parti la place solto for example nin nara region karde ntol ni place kalde la fitala na candidate sort le fo so anso do fane yafo usually kana won nyama do fane yafo so naketa wo nyama original dambal si kacano bar sai jama kana ka jibe nyimwol sante regional jibelde jimale jarata degete ka banjun lafta nyinna Brikama lafta nyina bari candidate me banjun mo candidate Brikama bulu ni regional sida regional representation wel kasile ndol nga mira Brikama ta jarata bari nim banjun manson biko mo bi kana jama mol bi kana faye ini regional wal itol ikana wala nyama ni jama aje ko ni region kar ni candidate kar me bora region kar wala jarata katen kari ngamira ite abula karye ngadula do jibe ban ni man song muta carte fayol ara orde mo be yalo na jamabe jimala koma ninda carte fayol jamabe men koma wala be gagnela ida fon kanaje fayelo
onda burani babula lola nyama
hani akachele ka aga jenta kelale regional de telafta dola do askeno politics lam ninga nyin do mamma soto nsi nyin do soto nole ba nin ko mbita carte fayo damballa e place la Banjul mi alon ko 3 constituency le beje oto wolde place soto nola nin ko mbata mo de place soto nola ha funga ke give and take wala fo negotiation ayna nin ko mbaka la carte faulty Brikama West Coast we have 12 constituencies ha ntol ning haninga tour jen so lafta place no mbabe talale bar ko hanin kana ce wo nyama ni lafta place la ila consequence nyanta kalamda ko ite carry from Brikama not ila lafta place la ila mole floba jela ko foyta jarata o place la foy man jara place nyin de ni nata de region fanan wala yaje ko jarata la ora kumata la ngete nge samba ngai tani la moko nyimmun na candidate for so and so but nin konte room create la for dialogue la be ko melola ñofe dulal medu doyata they are disadvantage anu lafita mo be representation so in the national executive ñine fananka room ñin create for dialogue bari momo tombo da place la jamma kata tala jelo ko jikta ko won mari le garta o place ñin ñine ka ke ko ñenti para manje ko nka mol suppress le waranto anke forcele hani abika ke wo nyama abika ke wo nyama la fitale pour diversity soto mo be representation soto and the same time also lafta fanan pour kambe fana ye soto ge so nyine ka keje
Okay. Now going to forward election auto last year Allah Congress the last Congress women and youth participation ngamara musola percentage fal 30% of Allah executive nyanta kala musol tile. I mean a lot of people welcome that, but we are I remember one time at GM Secretary and I said how strong, how musol kango be bambandi nyadile UDP executive kono. You cannot just tell us laughter 30% of the executive to be women, but they are not just actively taking part in decision making. Akumaya tanata musol ni funding ke betara executive. I think women is 30%, funding ke is around that. I don't know exactly what is the percentage, which is a chunk. That's about 40%, 60% women and youth to get combined. That is very good, more. I mean, I think a lot of parties should emulate. But you don't find a CA or musol fang executive con at that point. But musol la sembo nata 30%. Ila kango benyadi le partiyo kono when it comes to decision making process.
Na ye particular presidency, musol la dominate.
Yeah.
The national president musol. Ala second deputy musol. Ito sabalti. Kilimu chawati fulol musoti. Then Secretary General ala deputy of musolati.
Yeah.
Senior administrative secretary ala deputy musolati. Partila hierarchy, senior hierarchy munyulelti. Ni senior administrative secretary musoti. Deputy Secretary General musoti. First, second national president musoti. And then the national president musoti. Musol mu nanileti. And Yindolu, Yindomu Sabalti, plus 2, that is 6, plus another 2, that is 8. This hierarchy of alphabet diamond, out of 8, nano musolelti. So why you got decision making, musolia says totally in the party. And then ni nata funding chola musol la karot again. Youth win, main one begela, but again nata another unit sotole under the youth win, specifically for female youth win. Automatically, the main youth win, 4 of their members, almost automatic members in the national executive. Near elect at their Congress, it will find automatic member in the national executive. In fact, it will no more now be elected in the national Congress. Then, in addition, was it Keno Wolkono, Cholsi Taranojel, Musolsi Taranoje. Barika Musol Sembentuya, Musol Nata Fanana, special female youth win soto, or Fanla Mo Nani Fanang is an automatic member in the national executive. Any other position, Musol Sa vinyl, but these ones were specifically Wolmu Musol Talet. Women's win automatically walla for fanamu members in the national executive. So new women's win here for soto, ila female youth win in other for soto, and any other person fana. Is lono mena ya nyini ya moso je o come more room the musolela in the party la national executive and all other executive for new structure ni belar intentin. Wala na manke national executive dambadele. Now all structures nyolo women composition in the executive nyolo akaketentin as well as the youth nyolo.
Interesting aspect, the gender aspect of it, because I think this is also something that is attracting a lot of attention in political discourse in the Gambia.
Yeah.
Musola, representation in positions.
Yeah.
And of course, kudos to your party for giving the Gambia its first female mayor at all level. But then this also, and then of course, a lot of people, will say that, well, the mayor of Banjul, Rohilo, is doing a good job and all that. And some are even saying that, she has, high chances of retaining her seat in Banjul. But this also begs the question whether UDP as a party is ready for a female presidential candidate. I mean, knowing fully well, like you said, the national president is a female. Yeah. The deputy party leader
is a female. And you mentioned host of positions, you know, the Deputy Senior Administrative Secretary and all that. Will be muso lelti. Ninkuma kamda muso siyabata la party kono.
And dynamic
even in the
as well.
executive. So I mean, at some point, is the party ready for a female presidential candidate? Either it's going to be 2026 or 2031, but probably 2026. If really the UDP wants to serve as an example of a political party that promotes gender representation in the Gambia, at some point, you know, even party nyunkonale, foibo sign sol jekande banko musol bella firinne, wala ya interested in dile, puruka party la leadership nyenta. Specifically, because being a party leader does not necessarily make you a flag bearer or standard bearer of the party. So you can have someone as a party leader, but probably you put up a female, you know, presidential candidate. Do you understand? And then shortly before the election, 2 women joined your party, Meli Alonko. They are well known in this country. Oli Diba was one of them who joined your party, and you know, Sabali's sister. What is her name again? Ramu Sabali also joined your party, and these are influential women in the country.
We have Yakumba Jete in the party.
Yeah, Yakumba Jete. But when I comment, these are 2 people who joined the party, and they're influential. One was local, that is Ramu Sabali. The other one, you know, worked, you know, outside this country, you know, well educated and all that. You joined the party. At some point, are we expecting? Should Gambians expect a female presidential candidate from the UDP? And I think it will be the Naliake. Naliake will be the first political. We want to see.
I mean, AGMco
we want to see which political party will present the first ever female presidential candidate.
Major political party.
A political party, because Roy, for this lady, what is the name?
I said
again?
A major political party. You're talking.
No, I'm asking which political party. Because I don't Gambia Jang, Mamira. Jawara time I was not here, but I don't think. Political party, because Aissatou Touré was independent and she did not even contest. The other one, Mary Sok, was also independent and she did not even contest. So we are yet to have a political party, Mayor Alonko, will present a female presidential candidate.
Is the UDP ready for
willing to do that? Come 2026. I think they are ready.
Ibe patio patito o pati be parela
is UDP ready?
UDP nkanale
okay
Roy Malik lo jimale alon Gambia politics kono ifa be kala meyote
no
apareta nata sango menna ko apareta be kala meyote amanchati ba
aketata
planan ko nimu sole pareta patio patito ibe je ibe kelatele
don hanida do sonna de
but for UDP pareta
nkoni musoli parede be patio patito
ani honorable ani kanale patito yale te jamu la patito to yala de
kanale ka example ta
do ba fele mampare
hani mota fula
afale daron gon la patito ndo la patito musol pareda
ntenga boss je damendo nko musol la carola ni musol pareta patio patito abe kelal inde fakko musole majority for
that's what I was going to say
musole majority for
musole support party
musole wala nyanta bola
okay
what a way
that I agree with you.
Yes.
Rohin Natra from nowhere.
Yeah.
Hani UDP la politics no moma longe. Yes, member la mati. Baraka support le ke duram.
Yeah.
Baraka activity do hani moma long. Bar bira nata first timer. Ama gagné bang.
Gagné tan.
Odan kawle tandi. Mo si falbe patil to your prominence min soto. Wal koy lafita. Ni funda fo ma nyana fo la wal soto la ba.
Hakan.
This is what I'm saying. Yala nyante bola musol lel fam bala musol kame fodron ndambal bi kanyo support ngamal courant be wolat bara manke patilti courant be fangole bala ka ko dambal bi ka nyo support e tollel siata kate failal ka tambi cewlti wodo patio patire tollel siata je na tol siata damento Allah tambe na wala nyanta tamala bari tol nga science nyol jelo ko na musol be parerin bare ni atara ye support sur la mol fana mbulu hanyanta kilale UDP me ko di de ko fa ko musol ma nyana kilate de ni musol pareta UDP la leadership president yala iba sotolale
is anyone ready to challenge Darboe?
Well, ntawo fono la ko anyone ready because mantra karte fa ko.
But so
I'm just asking whether there are
na wato sila yalo to na bina sila le ni karte fo bina sila le nga flag biara yuka
no flag biara party leader
Congress
party leader nying is there any sign that is somebody interested maybe honorable Alhagie Darboe
are you
interested in the leadership of the party maybe to be the party leader
Punda fonde Alhagie SDAO. Haninte mang interest party la den.
Honorable ya on record. Malafi nga najang after the Congress.
Interest party la leadership la.
Right now.
Right now. Ndema interest party la leadership.
We don't want to come here after your Congress and hear that Honorable Alhagie SDAO is the party leader. Honorable Secretary General.
Quote me.
Honorable, more coming for. Even though I disagree, and last week I made my reasons known, changes nyanta kela patiola leadership tole. But tonya majority of Gambians kawal for ko. Pati Jamal, doi 30 years, 40 years. Halifa sala ni sidele ka fainyoka ninyi ndombota we ajinyi na olda malo modo wanke party leader wala mkoita UDP kabri 96 fobi lawyer Darboe party leader anena mamfalling APRC ya jamel botaje bije fa botaje sain fa bakar le bije mo amira ka bolaje fona pareta botaje fa bakar tombo that NPP barole bije for damante abotaje do tekela. This has become the norm in all parties. UDP not uniquely to UDP but mi mutonya ati watu wazindi amoke da niko falo nyanta kela mo ba ha UDP anyanta falina Darboe nyanta falina. That is what people say. More call for, and people will tell you at that election 4 different times, right? Not successful. I spoke to my grandma one time, kachakono, election okana ngamere yala ke baru ba jindela nyisiro ko UDP da bon town ndatije. Why do you people believe, a lot of your people believe it has to be Darboe or Patriotita? Why is it that most of your supporters muna ne believe tawala?
Ngamere la kano Darboe la oye lando nyin dila yalon kano mu natural let mo bika mo kanun moye mo fonle ka mo kanu anuita fonla ko kar manyina kar kanula o mu kulete alala daro la moti ni alaya molu sondomo tobendi atel la kun fay kuna moti asiwo yele mande a simple tabala bibi willa na kanobe laare esala kan ba janni soma ala sa yele manduna mo la kano bonni asu kuke membe mo la kano bondile kan bari mo la mo kano mo ala la darolti hadama dum to wo jojnol an hadama dum to bondinol kafo fanan kono abe wala nyama pour être kafo nyin na nyaton kayala abe tula ila koman ko lelbulu bare eni dedo ila koman ko la kano mantere kandoron o somi dat kenu la nyaton kote ngamira UDP ko ila kano wala be Darboe kan hanembi
I think he contested 5 times, not 4.
5 times, yeah.
Yalo mu presidential
How presidential?
Ntola party la leadership ni amanja kwa fuko ni tan party leader automatically itela mun presidential candidate nyindi.
Okay.
Congress nyanka secretary general party leader ni ani ora executive tombo bari ninna represent palaso ni akayele mo bele hani mem manke executive members nyinti so saimbe mento wala mu jimal we kala na party leader abe tarra yerelin so
dolbe sa plan ko
hayde fon wara esa fon
hani mange party hani mange member
hani be kala member
oh you have to that's why I'm asking hani mange member Well, because I saw during the presidency, Lamin J. Darboe, lawyer, they all contested that, but that was for the candidature of the UDP.
The flag bearer.
The flag bearer is open to all people,
all
right?
members. All members.
How about non-members?
No, only members.
Only members.
Only members.
Non-members, then Siran dealer way ganye.
But in 2016, covering Darboe and others were in jail. You people open the position.
Yes.
For anybody, outsiders as well.
No, members.
Members only.
Members.
Okay, fine. I just want to get to this because there is a nexus here between party leader and standard bearer, the flag bearer, the presidential candidate of the party. In the sense that, come last week in our discourse journey, the reason why some people are, because it's the understanding also should be there, like, for instance, Darboe, if Darboe should retain.
Is he contesting follow?
Well, we don't want to talk about it because I
for the president, for the flag bearer. No, flag bearer.
Party leader.
How maybe the secretary general? Is he Abelolal for?
Hanintara Congress lankalong.
I don't think he will want to talk about that now.
Hanintara Congress lankalong.
But the thing is, the issue here is that, I mean, people also have to understand, even if Darboe is elected at the Congress as the party leader, that does not necessarily make him the candidate for the party come 2026. But okay, the thing also here is ntela mira lo menti. Wole mko nga mira. Party la leadership nyim fanang. If, for instance, the UDP at any point or Darboe himself will say, okay, in his corner, I found see that sitting after miracle like man la fika contest in 2026. For example, I think member kumala wole mko party dingol fana nyanta nyanta dalla nyata unka dolale. Janiba for the election of Besila. Wole mko well, Darboe is a senior member of the party. He is one of the founding members of the party, and the party akata party ni bakela foka futa na statement to sign them. But at some point, natar nunko Darboe te contest la, for instance, in 2026, maybe at a fong la mira lo rajeko nte dalman interest soto. Will it not be necessary puru I mo manang? Okay, let's say I open. Let me not say I mo manang. But will it not be necessary puru I think when you open like mel na to la foka contest for the party leader position? Yeah, let them take over the leadership. He can be there as an advisor or whatever, but let them take over the leadership. Sa je parti dingol nyai dalala, banko kameli alon ko kakatrio fanam fay nyai dalala ko nyine UDP la leaderti. Ibaile na futa the presidential election ton. Na hanata na liolo tomong because it's different. Somebody can take over the leadership of the party as the party secretary general, but at the futa election of 2026 ale modo ta ko di. Obese kenole. But at least now you marita. Imagine a so sense of because leadership, one thing essential in transformative leadership is building that sense of mutuality between you and the followers. So that mole dalala. Because at Barola presidency katanyala, election of Katanyala in 2016, Nimmen Kobotala as an example, mistake ballot. That from nowhere, 2-3 months or another dorong, a winter. Yeah, Barota was a condition. He was a situational president. The situation at the time will obviously momo nata dorong ibe winnale. Because we had a common enemy that we were fighting. But in a political the dynamics be change. To an extent that you could be seen just 1 month or 2 months, it could be new passing fintin la me alonko, mol malon bake. Or take not on mol me alonko say mol long they are doing well, maybe mayoral position and all that, a little sammanang, one of them to be the candidate of the party was officer. But ni most not a me alonko mo kutoleng. Mol Mandala, party member from Mandala, Sako, the average voter out there. Sometimes, as a party, the chance of winning elections, we can know that's a limit no. In the sense that Mol be jikiri mena olem kola. So unka memfo olem ko. This election, this Congress is an opportunity. Natar nunko. Darboe, Usenu Darboe is not interested in contesting come 2026. It's an opportunity for him to give opportunity to others to come and take over the leadership of the party. He can be there to provide that guidance. One thing I'll come for, model come for, which I also understand, because come and discourse can young, democracy is one thing you're conscious of, but you also have to be conscious of the unity of the party. Darboe is a unifying figure within the party. Bi jamaka me ko ha ninda bakatan dorong then party be farala flare bari
that's what people say.
That is why he has a very huge responsibility on his head.
But that's why you don't think that's why it's also going to be too premature just to let go just like that?
No, but hani I depend tale wala tinna transformative leaders you can do start journal in terms of ita kana position of the fong time menna when you assume leadership position what time ole ke mira fong how to build that sense of mutuality between you and your followers so that nita mantaraji mosina take over without having any breakdown. Yeah. So member je wolem ko I understand that point. Maybe you're thinking of the unity and all that. But ibaj la ko la Darboe responsibility bana soto. How do you ensure that hanata nunko bita lot of ko look I am returning the leadership of this party to you people because nyim party man can detati. It belongs to the Gambian people, not only the UDP members, but the party, every political party, every political party belongs to the citizens of that country because muneketa, every citizen has the right to join any political party at any time. Nseke no APRC nga bodi ngata doi, wala nga bodo ngata UDP, wala ngata party dodo, wala tina party mumul letati. Nita yaje ko bi, hani ndalota bi, hani Darboe lota ko bi nga party la leadership min sendile. What am I kaka problem oti? Nata nunko doku kendo keta on the ground that most leadership you assume no without having any problem. So atela responsibility len sign. How does he make so hanata nunko ya elect at the Congress this time around? Asita no for sanje kilen sanje fala ko look menda hakanne modo ina I take over the leadership of the party. But what I'm trying to say is that unless Darboe fonga je ko 2026 be contest lal. Nata nunko bato hani sign. Then I have no problem. But nata nunko je ka contest la in 2026. It will be right at this moment. Pro UDP miralike. Ebe leader jam jumale samman na me alon ko abe that sense of mutuality billale. with the members of the party, but also with the average Gambian voter. Me alon ko abi mako la parti ni mako la 2026 albe election o win nya because ngaje ko any political party yaji Allah hamen ko mendi wala ka election o win and albo la ni kan 2026
yo sa ngamira esa ko band natara batu brasa natara mandato yalo faram be jeel sign 10 thing mbika mo nyinin ka presidential flag standard bear kola fa beto fateto nta limit no la to mo kelina place nyimbe jele mo tante woti so ate dedala pour ka mo nyinin ka foybe woto bang foyte woto
non ma fa nyinin ka ro je ba ko men damu ngi instincts afola mi da
mirol nata bato naratato
ate yalo na
woto lonno la foni ma nyinin ka woto lonno la fo fana ma nyinin ka an ko tande ko wonte mota dabo tante wo place o nyinti aka harjela ka tombon atante sambe men kono wala mo patila leader yati nko nga nin to la presidential nge bondi nyotol man la fi nge student nyola scenario do sinano la membe je ate lono la atara kudola ate nate lono la wala ate ngaje ko nge bondi nyoto so nimbita kan mantan na presidential candidate tombo fonkan na leadership la tombon nkala file nga nyatil ngo tombondro dambala nga hankana
kudo
blanda
in your personal capacity would you vote or nominate Lawyer Darboe to continue as the Secretary General and Party Leader of the UDP?
Nintara Congress science entity aben nganyoto nte personally insa nominate.
Okay. Why do you think Darboe should continue to lead the UDP? Muna na yamira mun qualities lebije mi ati na yamira ko Darboe nyanta continue.
Ngamenjeje ko men ngamen fu han bi ngajele parti dingol la kano ba kam bak kanu dum alala darolti nte maki alale woke adiyata nyewo akuyata nyewo wo molla kano be gel nte to bondinola oto nil lafita patila nyato talla ilafta minna mfana nyanta lafla walla ngawo suute jele anu ngalu nako nak mina mo tonyati bibi lala ni Usain Darboe fundita hanni sawla kera Brikama ko Usain Darboe nata mol kanyina sawla ale kule kay iya kanu woy ma kanwo fo suwo mutafe
aya okum mata bake anu
nyine atinna ngaje ko hanin bide nyim molbe sulare nyinna la ay kela nyaton koti and ite wo long
and that's why
as administrator yewo loy fe yewo loy la mol fe nyinta lonnal ko tonya jamabe nyina koma ka kenna nyaton koti
and that's important because come here come for and I agree with you entirely. Your focus is on this Congress and it's an elective Congress party leadership albo election 2026 presidential election mansi follow. You don't want to focus on that, you don't want to talk about, but it's also important come here kafanya meng kuduful kafanya de malam menyum fala manika konto nyameng mone kurto
abika fara
ya fankanda kurto mone be ka fara akam dan telephone fisada anyway mone fankanda kurto mone be ka fara because nibe bi kono ka sama fanan sanne sama be ka konto ba niya nibo akadia inde fana so it's important for you people think along that line. And in 2026 months jump for honorable. Everything I see jariba kalam dal 2026 call that itale. So it's something that you need to I'm not saying that komanyanta ko for the outside. No, that is not the focus of the party. You're working on the Congress now. But it's something that you can be thinking along.
Even whereas 2016, yes, coalition na wala ganyet. But it tumomen nantolanga Adam Barrow tombo. Ngo nyina mo UDP la candidate nga round clean ke mbe futela nan jang ibi kasu ita fono la Usain Darboe la moliye welcome men kala ani moliye welcome ke Adam Barrow la
that difference general
ita difference o ngi geno
man kilinde nga fo ne Barrow mo situational president
ani ma fo la president ya okay ma fo de UDP damba sa gagné no bar kame yitandi at the level of UDP bring ha tommo non ko ñine mun na candidate oti mo be blata normal
ha but yalla liba crisis la fanan kono non the leadership was in jail
politico da oda be mu crisis
but ne ajibe hani UDP la process kon even their local government elections whenever you continue la candidate
party
80% of it
mass
will
political party let
it's a mass political
mass political party lamu ayo karta ñi a sotole yem mo tommonde ko ñine mu UDP la candidate itente Mulka karte fay dole bi kalom but as long as ko UDP leñing londi mo be katara akomale
and that is the problem in the mass party
and I remember KMC la mayoral elections mol sent to KMC to do vox pop we still have that video here but bunka mayor pabiro dole marse kono ale talib lo na akon tolbe UDP ale talib lo tolman talibe long but Usain Darboe momolo in tolbe carte faylo I remember that still I remember that's how most of the time Allah molka operate wala nya
biringa arma crossing din tara ñomi ñol futata nan dantele ko UDP ñine long ñine londi ñine wona candidate from that spot dorong molia picten malo ne bor as long as UDP la londi mba koma bi mba ko okana ke fenka bake silandati bake bari dunia kono fantale what we are saying ko san tolla focus be nondo
wolon congress
wolem congress mallafi kuwe lingemi alka be
ko nali mo mudal ka mudal barnali bo mudal ke bo adol
wala na UDP nga wala muta
UDP la muta so
ko be wala dabo fon dol lunkile
na ebo UDP
for da ko ningambo UDP to hani ndasa moto fonse kumayanti he said that on my show but honorable now that we talked about the congress akanale it's open go a lot of us believe go Darboe Bekela Secretary General Fona Falinda, but that's what a lot of believe. And I don't see. But one thing I do say, don't they? I'm not a member of UDP, but even if I was, two people that I will always vote for, the kind of zeal I see in those women, it's a funding care inspire no nya, it's a kato muso funding care wolongo. Hani se ke baya nya, ila role muminti. Make sure I remember situations like UDP la electoral boita electoral force people min cross the campaign la local government election ni musu flolom up to be every event itole benyaton kayala je they were everywhere those kind of women leadership akumaya kale wala na mbenyi nkaka no musolas leadership position how much decisions do they take because when you have women like that me along in leadership position to strengthen them and also kinyaton koti pour mol say example stage because nejibe bi afisiatale bi but jama mbuko musol to contest election and I said this local government elections kotuma nkanadu nanje akumaya tale patiol nibe mol londila especially grassroots politics also kamusol jubeje bake I know you are part of the selection committees minube ni nominational mol tombona nyimu felleti mi alonko malo UDP ba jube kanyade bari alkana du wol kono selection of local government positions especially West Coast region I was having an argument on the page ngaji jaray fayinge ngamrawe jiberola ngaji I post ke ka foko West Coast we should have a woman there. I am a person who believes in empowering women. But as a resident of West Coast, at this point, I don't care whether it's a woman or a man. What important a wolom, a competent, a person me alonko can be agenda driven. Me alonko West Coast la hajo bekela la hajo. Bari tonya West Coast le warta Gambia regional bit. But in tole lakta be regional bela. And I think we are if I'm not wrong, we might be the richest region when it comes to resources and stuff like that. How come West Coast man keno ntolonga for the UDP atolam ning alkalbe sirfo blame la no alkana sirfo blame atolle sirfo dinner. I argue this with everybody. I see I think over 10 candidates. You guys, I see a lot of good people there, but again it's selection. Atolle the final decision comes from you guys. Can you tell us UDP will give the people of West Coast the best candidate be akana ke ka foko karilo ma bota Brikama le siata ngadi wala karla bota lamen ko le siata ngadi wala let it be the candidate mi alonko abe regional marko because for the first 5 years I mean, no disrespect to the current chairman, but we are lacking behind. I don't know whether it's because we are the bigger region, but Tunya West Coast lack Caledonian compared to KM Nimbanjo.
Ninata Musol la Koreafo. The selection committee like chairperson, Wolamu the national president.
Oh, Adiyamunda.
Adiyamunda Wolamu selection committee like chairperson. All candidate selection, kaba presidential, with ward council, ateleka be care. So why don't you call Musole council to UDP? He has the final say as far as selection of candidate is concerned. West Coast la Carola Waranto this year candidate selection local government election nga new approach leta nga lessons ñol lan ko SAE fo ñamel dula dolu National Assembly nga recommendation men dolke ka fo ko ngana serving nam solu retain o man ta down well with certain constituencies ñol okay dolia accept but
I know if a constituency
dolma accept executive dia mote tema dula doli hanbi man ñomoy then nata to the selection committee we made it open apply including the incumbent then selection narake dula dol the incumbent man na asoto so nga woto jibe nga je say nga bula open and ninga open mo be si asafe ninga asafe ntina direct to the selection committee be minekela be panel le set la panel will be to verify those candidates ñol la submissions ñol and to find out certain things about you the candidate
to vet you about time
men yalla wetata kalam da ko wolbe chekanne independent people ngolel to mo men ñanto kela den ni wo keta o panel be de fana invite lale for interview thematic areas will be where question will be drawn ke nyininka and wo panel fana independently e bebe la course nyol talale on your responses it will basically record yol tal independent yela total ke ka foko ite bring interview ngani score car ngani le dila an nga benchmark jel ko for verification e nyente ngo sot lale gangi be sot list la kata to the selection committee. For interview fana e nyanta ñu soto la score soto la le jandi be sot lista kata selection committee then no be keda menu sot lista wala la names be forward la to the selection committee and ita selection committee fana before wala fana be la direct selection ñin kela you'll be given the opportunity kela manifesto ñi present to the committee and will committee the composition. The region where you come from will be represented. 2 will come from the constituency, and then 2 will come from the region. At West Coast, 26 will come from the region, and then the national executive members will join to form the selection committee. The national executive the region will be represented. Yena yela manifesto present ya formolie ete mune sort of West Coast. Njikta ko hani meni melo ni diamute hana be kala mo kilim mo fulade yajo ko karde aka même fode a jartal ala kaytol num kolye membe yitandila interview panel result ni report men di alba ko dambante de bari aka même fode ntel lata ko nyin kare ni jartal njikta ningan na fenko ni kewo nyama nga mol scrutinize o kendeke janimbe futala the level of selection committee nimmenu bitaje
yeah, I just want to come in here. I think it's very important because this and it's good that you have touched this selection issue here. It's good. I mean, you go through the procedures and the processes and everything is exhausted to make sure that the right person or the choice of the people is presented to the voters. But this should be a learning point for the UDP as a party. But okay, starting with the president. Okay? Like I don't know, but that is why Melka for code. Don't be UDP I'm like, no, I don't blame the UDP, and I want to be on record for that. I don't blame the UDP for giving us Barrow in 2016. because it was the situation at the time. Meltata kartio fa wa convention oto mele baro windi wol manka UDP damadi parti do la late kan mele kartio di barola oje made it very clear my party wole be ya fale ko to la delegate so ko ko al kartio di barola. Do you understand? On the flimsy excuse that Nalman Kartio Diala, Nima win the UDP be coalition in boycott. And I said I disagree because UDP knew what was at stake. The entire leadership was languishing in jail. Yeah. If they missed that opportunity, Puruka Jamme Bondi in 2016, that was probably going to be the end of the party. Who knows what was going to happen to Darboe and Co in prison? Nobody knows. Obe available no. But so it was a situation at the time, and UDP Damma Baro Windi at the convention where this was decided. They came with 70 delegates. You know what I'm talking about? Not even all the 70 delegates voted for Halifa. Yeah. So it shows that it was the Gambian people through those political parties, reps or delegates, that brought us Baro in 2016. And it was a situation at the time Mayor demand. But Munanatake, we are come up as a party, okay. Not officially, but a lot of your people, that's one. You come to Janinkana mayoral because National Assembly election for 2017. Ale candidates will present more. People supported them. Dolbeje, well, another brown envelope parliamentarian old. Well, one of them balcony hani sign, but Dolbeje will be borderly. It had. Well, party Nimbulale, Alhagie Koyal Jamfala, I will fan and Nimisato Fanana. Ko dolbe je kan fa nimisa telefon buna nga ñul support den nga na chairmanship la Sirifo Sonko is a typical example hani saim dol kataral pa dol balla pati kon mel kan fa nimisa telefon buna nga Sirifo keje. I understand at some point ite party ñim blame bala wala because party comme ya fanya is a mass party and mass party this is one disadvantage you can men soto randomly more anybody can come because anybody has opportunity to vie for any position and people can put you there. It depends on what the people want, especially at the constituency level. But the one jama be jale modul from elect. Dul be jal kanal al kafoko karu amang karang amang competent amang keteng. But the kabidal ba to monna fo manje numbang. One problem wala tinna the party should really learn from that because nde mol jele I can tell you that one of your MPs, I wouldn't mention the name, but Santeng afanan jomta leadership. I can tell you that confidently. This was way back in 2017. When Papa Njai wanted to contest for KM seat, Papa has never been UDP. But he came and contested primaries level, Amawin, but Papa has never been UDP. I can tell you that for sure, 100%. But there was another one, Mealonkabe Parliament Lahani sign, jumped the ship. But he contested on the UDP, Amanga UDP. I remember having a meeting with him, Kabila for contest, he came initially, he said Alafaka independently, and he sought advice from few people, and I was consulted to be part of that meeting. I was part of this meeting. This guy said outrightly that he is never UDP. But I'm going to exactly. At that time, UDP will a chance to and you people selected this guy. But Munekata will have a man surprise. Kabra party Nimla, Kabra Jamfa man surprise. Alhagie Loko, Ning I Jamfa tenente. Man surprise because I knew he was never UDP. So will at Allah party now, this will be a learning point. That Alkana Mul Samanang, Sinin Samalial Bulo King. Nimisatale anwelana nyimang karang amang keteng wanyanda lona kabirin kunu that the party should be very cautious in as much as people sacrifice for the party political compensation nyantal hakilo to bakele because ngamenje walatina I'm making this analysis that at some point NPP is because more guys NPP mufengoldi in UDP corona telengole e bote tolle bala comme bote tolle bala cousin solo do you understand cousin solo bote tolle bala akamta don comme ga fa ni na ba fola ko yiri doni fenko munun tabari lo monal mankini you understand but at some point mol kajelo ko NPP be membe ke kan they are learning from the UDP because Barrow was UDP so alnental hakilo to la back this time around I'll be more mel select la even though the decision rests with the people. But Almol Jibe Melian Kotonia Tonya. And no miracle near comparatively 2017 parliamentary election in 2022. Difference in terms of quality. The competence and the quality of the candidates, especially Mel Winter. Difference bottle. So it's showing that probably the party has learned from the past, but you should learn more, especially when it comes to this local government election. Because I've said this here, that this local government election is presenting an opportunity to opposition parties to challenge the incumbent to make sure that they level our democracy and the democracy are consolidated. What we don't want in this country is one-party dominance. Akata Janne during PPP's time. Akata Janne during APRC's time. We don't want it to happen in this country. It will be a threat to our democracy. And you can only do that when you look for, yes, winnable candidates who matter. Political party called Jibele. It Jibele ko Fatule Karanda, Fatule Fankata, but Fatu is not winnable. They will go for somebody Mealongo is winnable, can bring them votes. That's important. But it's also important, Ali competence Jibe. Amarila honesty is also very important here. You will be able to learn from that experience and sort of 2017. Alkana parliamentarian council and ning some chairpersons Melialonko at the end of the day, Ibine al party jibela coming, okay, ya jamfa or yebo alto at the end of the day, Alena do a big mess kono, Katara Mirakanko, okay, I regret le meana and you'll elect, especially council level, because it's here battle. We have up to 120, right? Councillor seats to grab 120. So it's here battle. When we find me along Kalyantal because new dolbeji, eka jump. They can easily jump the same. Political fenko happens in this country a lot.
Na mira, no lay tandiko. Ni new approach lenara. As far as the current situation is concerned, well, local government selections. Yes, 2017, 2018, na primary small lerke. Pulat na niako democracy karte fo kumata advantage or disadvantage or
Everything,
o mo sifalu sneak nota wala nyama
Aba dolbe jal fango le support the honorable.
No,
lafa evident. This one is based on facts. Model beje Fatou. Wallahi they received the endorsement of the big wigs of the party.
No kankana la abra beker selection tara da.
Well, okay.
Wala primary sti. 2017 2018 primaries ñoo lelu kita o jama capitalized wala ka yes abe koleala le pour ya lon wolto jimalem di true UDP de wala jimalem manke true UDP ni jama be ko ma yekate faye e gagneta mol ba jelo ko mo UDP lati bari ngaje wo kola comme ya fo nyamenna situational men kera place bebul then you decided if you got party la activity bigay attend a start wala e participate na activities nyolto dia mo keta imamo ngaji ko tonya nyinde na place la babula baramanke party dinti wala nata 2018 fanana so ni national assembly election nko ala primary bondi Jani men kedanya 2017 2018 anyon kana kena korek. Na primary bond. First na mol men nan ko they are loyal. Sitting namsol current namsolu. Ngi maintain. To be honest. Yin dol men yalon ko mamol sodo je insul bla open. Bari primary alin kana okay because ninga ke men kedan ko ka funya men likely o fanan ko sikenore. So nata wolke plado mol nata support. This one manda wala de nko nyanta tambila wala le na mechanism put in place whereby nko janning molian application be open nal bari nyantal men yalon ko niya apply ke samana directly nga foko be kala be selection ni nekela ngi mari ñol commando yena ye la manifesto pre-syndrome ite da diare no diar e kuma fo jandro ye mol be kombi mol ko ha ñi giratale ata wonte hani janni bina panel lebe set la men ko biti la fact finance la about you ye document men fana present fana call fana ke jube fote molti men ko mu true UDP lati bang fo man ka UDP ni ta ma fanye do ba flanye ko karbe ten ngo kullo men so lati to lon nola nin tol ndar me report na mol men yalla ko be tarra woto lebe report nyin dila karbe ten ntol mamira karde o nyanta kala nyin place otu ahanka ay londo soto bari amam party soto in heart abe place nyin abole nomakan o report wo binale janning bita selection dulato momo ibe alhalto minna kado be kelale kalo ita mo sifa jimaleti fo party nyanda place o dilal bang fo mangena place o dilela anu e gerta ila banko mole nyaadi le fanan mbo fanan jubela ma pati la karo jubela banko fanan bo fanan jubela niya soto ya do banko e niya soto fanan ya tara parti to e parti la place so tara ay tara buleta parti fonanto o français sabati je I kafa minna ko you learn from your lesson yes to nyale mu karanta la an ngalon ko aketen nale anu ngadua ko mbe min ke kan askeno ninga o kumfa nte bulala anyon nyin kono we learn from our lessons.
Honorable, one thing finally before this, after we have one question because almost running out of time. How are you going to be able to unify the party after this selection? Very important. I do know ko alla Brikama Area Council ni chairmanship position ni ajube do wata gunjur. It's a big chunk of the party barama satelo mi alonko party la barama balle bije la bonsungo bije. Yeta Brikama UDP jusobe Brikama ngamera nga candidate fula sabanyol moy jel fula something like that. Yeta lamen is UDP la dula balom nga candidate moy jele ni sate bala kam to ko kombola ni sate bal bewe candidate bondeka. Andung the reason why I'm saying this 2018 nga remember busumbala aleo issue soto jele. In fact, well, some of those people mean keta fractional te kabrale primaries ke community left a mol minna ani minnata tombong a fatata nun difference keta je modol ya fil kon tolnga memin kay pati nga pata min ke e kari tombong wol farata wol keta mo fololti minutata NP minutata barono wato fam NP man seto andum Brikama Area Council West Coast ni sate bal on kamino be fo e mo patiola bonsun satello min ya lon ko tonya patiola baramal bijel now ni kan obviously out of 10 or 11 candidates mo kilin da malbe tombonola. How soon will selection committee be candidate or bondila for party are trying to unify before the election because election only in few months time. How is it going to be? How seamless is it going to be not to repeat Minketa West Coast Busumbala and then eventually Nimpati Farata Unoko? That is not good because to be honest, NPP is not going to leave anything on the table for you guys when it comes to Brikama.
Pour kawo faction of sifalo kawo avoid. Namelo gani approachmenta ay mapele. Nkana ke primarity na sama through selection committee. Oya maka nuonte by now. Tensura mimetar Brikama warla bakele. Nin kaniro kande be betar beni la groupe be taraje. And already bebe person talale strongly katarila mokoma. Na mari man gagné askeno ya marsa a faba lola independent ngol beje jele bar birinko mbakala selection committee la andu nata press list nyum bondi nkom malla fi parti officiel kabo village level up to national nim parti la place be parti la executive leto je funti katara mo koma amanke primarity. So mo manyan na mo killing support la for now for ning party men tombon base na wo support menu lafita isila la fo itandinol isideta yala ya fanyo ko lafitale isida do ya fo lafitale bari ofisa solu ka wul ka bula muy noma kata campagne la nga stop le ala natan dema mu ye la muy na candidato la muy isila alpha killing flatale e futa molma bata kele ko ibe timol lalu sotola consequence be tarre e koma regional be tarle koma executive nyolu wo be stop tale so ngaji silang oto ninyin keda ye formal fundamenta fa ye undertaking nyol tale kon ni man gagné ibe sonna min gagneta yo undertaking in tale ye kalle ko nin mumo to monda ya jako be harjeta ibe be tarla wo o komale nga sainol menje mammo je miyal ko aggressively abe ko cheka kamta ko na manyin place soto ate bola parti tore warunta be lola independent o time o men ni ajira keda won primary leti brim primary keda moli side ta momo ni la timo ite manna tombon wala tina do la timo e la mol marse ka ko tallo independent ba sai mol man tim soto ye alpha killing fla soto le min ka tambi nyaato kafta moluma baro manke general fen ko de ni yalon ko nyim mo kare be national executive le isi frando male because yalo ngabe tara selection dula nyin to bari bikata generally mol kan ka be campagne nyin dala oto na keto nyama the tendency is that pour o mari e balanka ko selection committee manta ngalo faye o this time round wa teje
Brikama jarta le munela UDP
Brikama ni yajibe sam Brikama yafanya Brikama kilindamba molu la bara Brikama
molu ha
the all together
me ha ko Brikama area council jarta UDP munela as we go into the election
afa jarta Gambia munela
a jarta Gambia munela
actually mo the most populated region
ha bar me na pour atule anya tan kay asoto
hambe yalla e wala nun ko a jarta Gambia munela
ni
mo lafta Gambia
ni aje no nyininga
actually mo Gambia la political discourse
hade
Brikama
discourse yeah
ala border population be nyamen
yeah
atelem political
discourse ha
me Brikama area council soto ye mo soto mi alon ko a jarta ay do ko ke Brikama area council we parti la promotion a parti la agenda abe wala promote la parti ka wafi o region abe sonne ala hani mo do malla fi parti la baytal do ko nyin kan o sati na foko ndede ñim parti de mantara jede bari karla do ko ñinka be carte di la parti la because of Brikama la o alhalo ñi
like man banjul
do
say
so
because of Brikama alhalo ñi wayatina Brikama la area council a jarta ñe bakele pour que je gagner ninga gagner andu nata councilol fanan soto o benna councilol fanan de mala le do ko ke because councilol do ko kenola ni man kiaman kendo soto ni nga chairman kendo soto way councilor lu fasa councilor France do ko kenole na development ñu na ward solo o farambe ntol fana ma ko lale hana manke area councilty but even national assembly asina develop fana ma ko no na parti do ko ke ñin constituency ñu wodo tole ani ñin constituency ñu do o fana sin de mano wala na Brikama ka jela area council gagné akumata bakele andum ba jelale na sira wala mde
sirang
ha mba jël na sirang ay murna yalo nga na sirang membe kombo sawla sanyang
ale be wutule
be ngine fana
brown envelope ale be wutule
so kombo saw murunde tale
ha nga ba election ke jele
ba election
after by election den nga murunda
ya murunda
be jikirin ko ñun do fana be sonne
ba
te bala ba tala
ba te baba finally from me I don't know finally because time of answer finally KMC, BCC, Basse, LRR, CRR, ngama drone be kilne be GDC la candidat minta NPP. Atule ñun be NB atul ñun be battleable not bank ñun be battleable kono. Alla doko alla chairman na la meso le mune doko mi atina gambe no nyanta carte di la to for them to have re-election.
Ni ada Basse.
Basse o kal foto wala.
Ani ko doko kiaman doko
doko okay
ni molbe carte fayla doko fode danjo e menki Basse area council kabiri area council chairman ya starta 2002 itani mola doko compare Basse ngol fonko fole ibe carte fayla nyamen na tude bulje ban ni ayatara doko carte nyanta fayla walla ko fode danjo gagnedal CRR South na kiaman lebeje bar ala la kido kan na kiaman amam kendea so iten na performance nyo
not all
south iten na performance ning ita rate no la woto ko sa tamen ke ja aman sia and the same time also mawo majority soto in the council as such LRR landing hani min mantra UDP bi wol be pare na kakarde di
yamal tan do ko sodla
ela do ko bal bul jere
kada jaran kol danku
jara yalo jara alko jara ila boy ba
jara wes
yalo LRR
wol mel lafi jara wes is a typical example
no these people said ko LRR will fix deposit but that didn't happen in the election I'm not reflect on the national election
the candidate that they selected for the national assembly election there were protest votes in Jara West.
This is what I'm saying.
People did not appreciate that
fixed deposit wo be jele
sitting candidate
this amamantala de
wo be bambande
deposit on mamantala
jaran kol ni ciankol se kam
amamantale
men keta
yankolo ma
local government election sorry national assembly election na be tan ko dula dol ka be ko ngana incumbent ñol tuje dolu sonda dolu man so way jara fanam male mulu ni ajibe mul man funti man song ka carte fay not necessarily dolbe je iko menkera presidential wala be kala manjara par dol fana be je ko ila diptola ko ye wolle lu jibe ko ita carte fay but ni nata ko support base lam
alba jigéen go hansa batolo
support base lam
o kana ale mun fo de danjo mun ka basse ni sa point out no because comme ka development
ay birijo lola de fo de hani de banga wala
birijo baroka tala wolti
no do birijo do be fo de you are
marcel nying barot
no but you are the council itself they build bridges and some local roads here
min do ma fa
la sato yalla mam baselo
yeah but yakale
I
saw some of them
la sato salol tra tinga ka remember one at this place Sonkunda ma fa ibe talaje aden there's another one Wuli Mafonla.
He did well.
Of the place.
So they did well.
Well, I know. I'm predicting that Basse will.
They will definitely
will go to NPP.
They will definitely.
And in Kato file a doc walla. And in Canada,
I'm file doc walla do.
What the Basse call Bulge? What about doco never file a walla?
For the winner.
For the Menkeje, cabin 2002, Cameron Menkanaje. I'm
not afraid with Basse, but I need to know for the MNLK.
He did amazing. I think I saw some of a list of Alafenko. I saw it.
Are you confident of
fix deposit level LRR?
Are you confident of Banjul and KM?
Banjul and KM, it's a done deal.
Honorable
Banjul and KM is a done deal.
Banjul and KM.
Honorable yala kay for ibadi am kandeng. Yabi en foten. Yala hakilo memma. Hakilo seku maron ne ma.
Yeah.
Kabi nga fengo soro jang. Wako
ako hani 5 from UDP that's
so if I'm bedi am kandeng nyame. KM Banjul is a done deal. Ngana murna njanga
hani murna mo kuma kilo fo.
No, to be honest,
ngana murna njanga
yalo come for political sata mita wala le gatin.
Yeah.
People are becoming
more aware and mature in politics. Yes. People are becoming, especially in this area. Yes.
Another presidential is a pattern do sort no wala. Oh, because this is a dal my interest nina. Currently interest law dronela. But Nara National Assembly, the candidate also matters.
Candidate matters.
Yeah.
Nata chairman ning mayor waranto council fana. Candidate also matters.
Yeah.
Presidential like kafako. Candidate become matter much. For your GB level.
Yeah, of course.
But in other elections,
people are
candidate can matter.
Yeah.
Ntela carte fayo. Mo jamae carte fanyi manka UDP. Nka Afrika skeno vande ninga danda UDP la skeno sinte gagné no. Koso funka mo le menu moyi. Ikafanyo ko mbe carte dile lale manka UDP. Bar mbe carte dile lale. So manje ko parti la ka jube ni election dolla na man kay president ni election dol bi ka parti ko Gambian ko yo kalamtal de ani fahamta walla wala kay tan ko don't be surprised ka ko fore Basse be tan fore de hani
I'm predicting Basse will go to
Basse is definitely I'm writing of Basse.
That's I'm predicting. I'm not hopeful because Gambia election no ava funny back la side
dynamics ka change la magala but I'm presidential dynamics ka falling.
To be honest,
I'm predicting.
I don't know who the candidates are.
That,
yeah.
Nko Banjul and KM.
Yeah.
Based on that, ila million performance menke. There is no way wala electoral should vote them out. No way.
Yeah, they did well.
Why?
Should leng.
And what happens could be different. Carola, it happened ko bring an application open.
Yeah.
It will musol applicants nullity.
Moma apply to
in their areas.
Mome challenge.
For the party.
Mome challenge.
Mome challenge for now.
KM Nimbanjo. Elaro le challenge soto.
Nani incumbents nyol be ibe man challenge soro.
Ibe master.
Na be nga challenge soro damento man sitting chairman soro damento.
Brikama ning
West Coast, CRR North and CRR South.
Wow.
NBR do jumal be NBR
ML Boja.
Boja ne be ay candidate challenge soto fa master.
NBR might also be
difficult for you.
Based on the maybe camera ko ning NPP be nyame na ikafo ko bari kam na ko dynamics ka falling ne wala na ka for mind. I'm very careful with my words.
Candidate matters.
Candidate
matters. Candidate matters.
Gambian politics dynamics ka change le huge difference like you said presidential election and local government.
Nobody predicted this what is going to happen at the National Assembly.
Yeah, so that dynamics change. That is why I'm saying you might find those places difficult. I am predicting that you might find NBR difficult.
And
LRR, you might also find it difficult. Basse, I am predicting that you will find it difficult. You will find it difficult in Basse. If not, probably that you will lose Basse. But I don't want to conclude. West Coast, West Coast will be very interesting because
it depends on the candidate.
The NPP, as the incumbent, they have only one seat, parliamentary seat in the entire West Coast, and that's all Yundum, right? Yes. I mean, KM Imam Fensototo.
Yeah.
Banjul Imam Fensototo. So I think it's also a moment,
it's a do or die for
NPP. For them that look, if you really want to a political landscape control in this country, this will be the first time, by the way, in the history of this country, in the political history of this country, and I can be corrected if I'm wrong, by Melianko Jawara Time or Kalamuta, an incumbent, not having control over these very influential areas.
The most populated areas.
Kabirim Banjul, only one seat.
Yeah.
As an incumbent, that does not tell well.
It doesn't
so it's a wake-up call for NPP as well. I can tell you that they will also tighten their belts to make sure that some of these seats are sort of, and I'm a chairmanship, but councillors. So that's also very important because come here for Nyame, Munebal affect Jana Sierra South, like you said. Ale most sort of jele, among even though health-wise, but also I think they
didn't have control of the
council. Almost sort of. So Vananka important back. Have your chairmanship win? Niman councillorship win? The same thing for KM. The same thing for Banjul. Nalko Allah mayor doko keno, Allah chairperson doko keno. You don't also have to forget the councillors. You also have to work on that. And I think NPP will really work hard on that. So the dynamics might change, but let's see what happens.
Let's see what happens. Alhagie programme banta programme diata elafta programme kumfala mintola ni sakatuma badi ngol be jibero.
Be kumfalda me watol men yo mbunya kumandi jangal tentu ngal jay. Mbal hakadan la sinya jama.
Yeah, of course.
Itelamu lamin cham.
Yeah.
Kam try la programme la abika keno ya alaman kiti menna abika gan bar ala kidita bil
ngade
detata nyawo nyang ana haji dole bulale
yeah
ana right na nyinda tara national
assembly
le param ko nyimu kulati fonsita
ya
kan nimma ke ba gila jenya do nyama nas amanke o nyama
yeah
wala en sambana kacha men fanan kera jam fana alhamdulillah amira moli ku jamal fanan karanje dol fanan memu patiti nga ku jamal karanje ake jang bel lamwela be nyo sabala par ko me yalon ko ngaje ko concerne mu ka tale anu nin taranka kachale nyantam fan la fala nyamenna mo la kuma ko bande ka menu fo nka wolelta nga jibe nga tenten nyantam falla fala nyamele nga lafa nga mira jere kuma jamale soro nyim programme kono dawo dan na mol be falla fano la men anin na mol fana men be la moy kan ani men manken na molati be yamaro men di la nyim programme kono bankola yuruwa politikola fannala programme ko wala itandina oto nga jibe nyanta kafla kelkela nyaadi la ngam fam nga participate political activities kono in the interest ko lafta ka bankole samba nyato ko non na sere ko nde lafta ko ante fama dambal haajo tine wala sambala nyato mbe ya maro jindi kam menna wala mo carte fawlo nga nyaatili menna nimbe carte fayla nga di candidate la menu jarata o kummata ñemmu local government carte fawalti yurwa bunda député bu kay yurwa sambano bare meyon ning ala councilol walla ñanda yurwa sambal na woto molu ñanda kala mollete mennu jarata nonde soma nin naso ke dan kana bile modi central government dambal enila lod lalam local government fan ni la lod lalam nin ñin dol make ñin dol ñanta kala ba ñul make dron bankula naso ñi wolbe tala ñaato son kana be bula miran killing ninga dodi tol center local government na mo kendol keraje tumando yuro be kelalde bari de mbe sul benka walam de ngamira de akoydal ko UDP la mu patiti atul gambian ko la nyanta la carte di la menna local government electional to nga yuro wala mennu ke councilol men ya ko be UDP la mansa kundañu kono albeya jele woto ngamira ningo keta mbenga je alkana mistake almankarte di UDP la molla ete la councilol to na boda je carte fa ba men bina abe koylal ko the right party men nyanda la state house fanyanda kala UDP lati mbal tentula mbal jayla atolu la moyralu ala baraka.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, finally, just to strengthen one point, coming abemem fokan nung ninata jibe local government election wala local government karti fa wala kumaya man sakundari ngo karti fa wala kumaya akumata bakele nka moy wato wate ka fa ko baro ko UDP ali abatandi baka man do ko keno modol fo UDP ko dol ka fa fofan ha dolle be jan yaaje naman tol sotata do ko keno la e maja man fen keno afay amanke ko ku ko tandile amanke ko UDP ko ni nata kam malay ko le muti wala di malle be da wala fenka hani your local government control. Yeah. It only be Banjul. Yep. It only be KM. It only be LRR. It only be Basse. It only be Hadi Council li siya so where then the local man sakunda ni ko do ko no anyama. Ilaftala nyame, well ilaftala nyame. If your local government finance soto. Yeah. And nung wala be baro batandi kan signing NPP. That is why UDP is a headache for them because they don't have control over the local governments. It's the UDP that is controlling them. Yeah. So what in naka kumata bakele. What in UDP fanang, what an ko NPP fanang ba jele loko to work hard to make sure that they get these places because Nima Soto, it will be another 5 years of what? Maybe to other side. In their view, it will be another 5 years of destruction because it's a local kenola. You understand? Even Parliament from Jibe. Parliament fong, you are a parliamentarian, you understand. Dobeje particularly for kudos a ruling government kalafika kudos samanang, even though it might not be in the interest of the country. But you kalafika sifal pusle, near majority sort of what an APRC has been one dang ning incumbent parliament dominate. Abekele a threat to our democracy. Akete jenne jawara la time. Akete jenne jammela time. Anumbe borika wala signing. Niaje bi kodol manke no parliament baro man kodol soto no because amam majority le soto parliament so wokum matale is good for democracy aka checks and balance le strengthen but also aka separation of power strengthen but also democracy for democratic accountability akole bambandi banko kan aka democracy le sulo le bambandi aka democratic consolidation akole fanam promote so wayatini ko local government election akumata bakele mol kana jedron ko ni wakan president carte fawlen president wolte do ko kenola député to do ko keno la parti to do ko keno to survive no la fam ni mang local government soto wala nga fa ko ni carte fo men tamita ni national assembly election carte fo men tamita ay munay tan di gambe no la soko opposition ay bambandi lay hañindi ku kele because dama be silatal nu yamre nun ko te fen soto la barka bi na da fen soto way hañindi le natar nun ko ni parliamentary election den jama be opposition let's say nga fa ko barola NPP has 95% control then that will be probably the end of some of these political parties. About na ko molbe sila le be jikila tele wala abandale. But be maybe ni honorable diamu das ken la parti ko do wala kabri election ndam da 15 season ko haji yara fan ko be mambang jiko be hani sai ali ngakata. So oppositional this is an opportunity for them also to work harder to make sure amanke ko coming we're trying to tell them that it's an interest like puru yaje ko yamansa kunda fenka hani but the democracy nga bete hata wol man la finga incumbent soto me alon ko adula be control we want opposition to be vibrant wala nanka fa ko last time ko opposition ka dormant le ni election tamita hani amanya ka election wato damati foy man sakunda tongo dete e ko nin tongo man dete nyaabe ka hele foy dula tele no mo wato wati to hold them accountable not only that but ni election sita you contest alia make sure ko alia dula win so that the incumbent will not have control over not only the cabinet parliament but local government fana kana je control woto carte failal me gambenol me nan ko carte be bulal be carte failal ni local government election men kana al salon ko carte fo nyum kuma batale gambia la démocratie la karola nin ko na démocratie la nyaato fo nga finti nga carte fa nyama ngaje ko na local government cannot control entirely by the incumbent because it will be a threat to our democracy.
It will be a threat to our democracy, and I think that is very important. And the importance of local government elections is this. The councillors and the chairmen are the closest to the people. And these people are the ones, mini alonko, it will like a grassroots politics. Walatina, every incumbent will want to hold these positions. And I think this is why UDP still have this edge. The National Assembly, because of the grip they have on the local government, the grassroots. And I think that's why this election is going to be very difficult for UDP because the president and his party knows the importance of this election coming and they are not willing to lose it just like National Assembly lose Nyame. So it's going to be a tough battle for the opposition and we look forward to what the government, the candidates they will bring. But for me personally, I've said this, even though we are not part of political parties, but we are also part of Gambia. Capable candidates, If I'm in Banjul, I would have voted for Himalik Law for few things. Not just because what she's doing in Gambia, but what she's doing internationally. Those things are important. Having a few women leading organizations, big organizations in the international community, and attracting donors and international community into our country. Well, even when she was elected as a fellow president, I'm like, I hope nobody puts a candidate against her, because now plus or lose BCC, she loses that position. And it's important sometimes we look at things from those lenses. So as Gambians, we should also not just look at party lenses. You know, if KMC has NPP is bringing a better candidate than Talib, why not? But if Talib is the better candidate, why not? Let's measure people. It's important, because this is important. Checks and balances is important in every government. The central government, you know, they have power in Itole incumbents, and also they have more people in the assembly. If you check, let's also measure these things and see who we bring to the National Assembly, to the local government. But I just hope so after this local government election, we're able to bring the local government bill to the National Assembly. The decentralization, mansakunda ringol ila sembo bondi mansakunda babu. Niaje some of these councils, imang autonomy sotono imang doko keno ilaftala nyame, is because everything they have to do, they have to go to the local government minister to seek for approval. And these are jaja menyinkenu time what lafta nun controller over these councils. But we are in a progressive society. These are things that we should look at. Chairman will have to do nga local government ministry ning talib la problem o jejaneno mobe ajeleno, and we saw how, you know, people try to use power just because, you know, they have those powers, and so going forward, National Assembly should look at some of these laws, some of these progressive laws, and bring it to the table and discuss it that way. And I think UDP should try and spearhead those bills, because Tonya B atolela molsi ata chairmanship to, and you are planning and hoping to retain them. So purkala mul makoi back. I think bills like that should be brought to the National Assembly, and I think wo mu feneti mi ango government ol jama babe la filala, because mo malon so meti jumale bitaje. So it's important to bring bills like that to the National Assembly. That way the councils can work for their people. They should be working for their people, but they are not doing it effectively because they are not in control of some of the things they do. So I think those things are important. But we want to thank you very much for the short notice, because obviously Ibe looking at the budget, but he had to leave and come here. But we thank you very much for that. Abarka back, and we wish you all the best. And to you watching, good night to you all. See you next week. Bye-bye.
Better and stronger as the sole ground operator at the Banjul International Airport. With an expansion in travel services, customers are assured of GIA's capacity to cater for all their travel needs, provided by professional, experienced, and ever-smiling staff. GIA's Hajj package and services, by far the best in the country, give the customers the opportunity for a memorable Hajj experience. For a more efficient cargo services, GIA means business as it launches its new multi-million-dollar ultra-modern cargo complex to revitalize and stimulate air transport. GIA, the pride of the Gambia.
Every day is a new opportunity to make sure our first impressions are always our best, and to see possibilities on the horizon. To make our facilities and services more accessible and find freedom all around us. With a location proximity to active markets, with a liberal air transportation policy. That daily pursuit is how we turn everyday opportunities for you. For all destination marketing support, customized packages for new existing airlines and operators, and for a highly ranked tourist destination, the Gambia Civil Aviation Authority is here to serve. We regulate air transport, operate and manage BIA technical requirements, merged with commercial considerations. We have experienced and well-trained aviation professionals to cater for your needs. For investment opportunities in building airport hotels, shopping malls, playground for children, do contact us on 4472-831, 4472-893. Gambia Civil Aviation Authority, we go beyond daily.